21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.
We all know that when songs are played, somebody's getting paid. So it might as well be you, which is why we started Jukebox, JKBX. Because it's the first time ever that fans of music, investors, the general public can now participate in the money that music makes by investing in music in a regulated fashion. I'm Scott Cohen. I'm the CEO of Jukebox. I've been an entrepreneur my entire life, and I have been through the shit. It is not easy being an entrepreneur, but I couldn't imagine doing it any other way. I remember being advised many times over my career to have a business plan and a financial model. You need that. You need that to run a business, to get started as an entrepreneur. And I think it's the worst advice you could ever receive as an entrepreneur. The last thing you want is a business plan and a financial model. You don't want to use those things for a couple of reasons. One, if you start with a business model, it kind of locks you in. It closes doors. What you want to do is start doing what you want to do. Because I guarantee you, once you start to understand whatever it is you're doing, and it will evolve into something much more. The second reason you don't want to do a business plan or a financial model is, once you do that, there's no way you would ever start the business. No one would be so fucking crazy as to do it if they actually saw it in writing. Because if you saw it in writing, you go, oh shit, this is how much money I'll make or actually lose. This is how long it'll take me to do it. It's better to stay an idealist and a believer and go, I'm just going to start a business and run with it, because the financial model adds that reality check that maybe you don't want to see in the very beginnings of your business. These are things that you need to see later, but don't start with them. I'm a big believer in creating transformational businesses. I think a lot of people talk about disruption. I'm disrupting the finance industry. I'm disrupting the music business. I'm disrupting the transportation industry. I've never been about disrupting anyone, and I've started a lot of businesses. My goal is to see where there's gaps are, where we can build on something, where we can add value where value didn't exist before, where for us to succeed, we don't have to knock somebody else out of the game, that we can all get along and say, but nobody's doing this over here. Here's a big gap. Why don't we do this? And we add a layer to a business, not replace a layer. Baby, don't get the phone. Baby, don't leave me alone. Baby, I'm stuck in the car. I'm begging you. Baby, you should know the water. Baby, you should know the water. Baby, I'm stuck in this car. I'm begging you. In order for Jukebox to succeed, we don't want to get rid of the major record companies, the independents, the DIY artists. We need them to still succeed. We also need Spotify and Apple and Amazon and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and all the social media platforms, and we want them to succeed. And we also need the entire finance world to succeed. We want NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange and Robinhood and Fidelity. We want that industry to be intact. We're not disrupting them. What we're saying is, here's a new asset class of music that people can invest in. And in order for that investment to be successful, the music industry needs to be successful. And in order for people to participate in that, we need the investment community to be part of it. So what we're doing is bringing a new level of business to an already existing industry, or I would say to two industries, the music industry and the finance industry, and we're bringing them together and adding something that never existed before. The way we're able to accomplish this is we work with the large rights holders, the people that own the publishing and master recordings. We then take a portion of the income streams. And when I say we, I mean an issuer company. An issuer company buys those revenue streams. The copyrights stay with the copyright holder. The revenue streams are purchased by an issuer. That issuer takes it to the SEC, and the SEC then sends it back as qualified. And when it's qualified, the issuer company has essentially converted income streams of music into regulated securities. Those regulated securities are then listed on the Jukebox platform, where anybody can buy them as simply as buying shares in, I don't know, Microsoft or Apple. Imagine you can buy shares in a hit song. When we started, we actually started with 7 core values. I mean, as a company, it's not about starting with the business you're going to do. You have to live up to certain values and ideals. And we started with servant leadership, respect for people and environment, integrity, team first and personal accountability, outcomes over inputs, which is so important, entrepreneurship and balance, work-life balance. Something I also learned in life as a younger entrepreneur, working harder doesn't make things better. That working harder just means you become less effective. You probably destroy all the relationships in your life with your family and your loved ones and your friends. And in the end, it doesn't bring you more. I think this all fits together for just even who I am as a person. I became a vegan back in 1998. So that's well over 25 years ago, when most people never even heard of a vegan. By the way, before I became a vegan, I'd never heard of what a vegan is or was. But understanding that it's truly about compassion. It's about compassion for animals and respecting all living things, all sentient beings. It's about compassion for one's health, and it's compassion for the environment. And I think that seems to permeate throughout my life, and these are not mutually exclusive. I think there's a belief that to succeed in business, you must be hard and cutthroat and do whatever it takes to succeed. And I'm trying to say, no, that's not true. You can actually be a compassionate person and succeed at business. They're not mutually exclusive. I think compassion then extends into the workplace. I mean, these are people that you spend your days with, your weeks with, sometimes your lives with. Like, it can't just be transactional. I show up and I do my job and I go home. These are people you're going to have deeper relationships with. You might actually spend more time with the people you work with than the people in your own family, and more time than your own friends. You're going to spend a lot of time with them. So it's important that you build relationships and that compassion comes through. I think a lot about, there's one thing about, everyone wants to make a good living, but what I think is more important is making a good life. Like, there's a lot of people that make a good living. There's a lot of people that make a great living. But there are also some miserable people that make a great living. I think our goal should not just be to make a good life, but to make a great life. And if we can have a great life combined with a great living, well, what more could a person ask for? When I think about love, and it's complicated, to define these things. I mean, certainly when it comes to my internal beliefs about being a vegan and animals and the environment, it's about a respect and not bothering them. Being a vegan doesn't mean you love animals and don't want to kill them. It means I want to leave them alone. I want to give them the peace to live the life that they want. When it comes to the people in your life, you don't want to leave them alone, but you want to give them the space to be the people that they want to be, and you want to encourage them to be the best that they can be. I think my dream is that we can do good business without destroying people, without those toxic environments that so many people I meet are involved with. I meet, again, whether it's startups and entrepreneurs or whether it's people working in large organizations. Why does it have to be so soul destroying and so toxic? So my dream is certainly around the workplace that it doesn't have to be that way. And conversely, my nightmare is that I'm actually leading a company that falls into that place. And I work very hard to avoid that. It does not mean in any way, shape, or form that I'm perfect or Jukebox is perfect, because we're not. But I know that we're aware anytime we slip into anything that feels like that, and try and avoid it at all costs. Yeah, when I look out 5 years into the future, what we're selling now, music as an asset class, is considered an alternative asset. I imagine that at some point in the future, it'll seem absolutely natural for people to have music as part of their investment. Imagine music in your portfolio that's paying for your retirement. Like, could you ever imagine that in the past? But this is what I imagine in the future. When I think about it right now, I use my Apple MacBook, and I have the one I use for work, and I have my personal MacBook, and I have my iPhone and my iPad. I am a big consumer of Apple, almost to the point where you could call me an Apple fanboy. But I'm not just an Apple fanboy and consumer. I'm also an investor. I'm an investor in Apple. So imagine now in the future that you don't just love music and listen to music. You don't just go to concerts and stream the songs online and buy the merch and get the piece of vinyl. No, you do that, but you also have a stake in it. You also invest in the music. And when that music does well, you do well. You're getting paid from the very music that you love. I encourage everyone to go to jukebox.com. That's JKBX.com. Set up an account, start investing in music, and make it be part of your life. Not just what you listen to, but how you generate wealth.
21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.
Imagine a space where triumphs, trials, and tales of entrepreneurship come alive. Welcome to the 21st Century Entrepreneurship Podcast, a gold awarded journey hosted by Martin Piskarik, connecting with listeners in 95 countries and ranking in the top 0.5% of all podcasts. Join our exclusive community, elevate your perspective, and embark on the path to success.